Hey, happy Friday to you.
Oh, hi. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. How are you today?
So good. Thank you. It is the end of January, which is so crazy.
I know. I can't believe this month is almost over. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it kind of like, I don't know about you, but it crept up on me so fast. I feel like we were just in early December and now it's late January.
I
But
know. I'm the same. Like, I'm just like, hold on. I'm still starting in certain things. How it's already ended the
yeah,
month.
I know. But nonetheless, we're back today for episode 18 of Brand Experience Live, our live video podcast where we explore the brands and solutions that are providing really unrivaled brand experiences for prospects, buyers, candidates, and employees. And today we're back talking marketing strategy and prospect experience and things that you can do and implement into your own brand to drive towards success and long term revenue growth. And today I'm joined as usual by my co host, Lagla Moik. Hi.
Hello. Talking about experiences, it's like I had just briefly mentioned, it wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning, like really bad customer experience. So obviously they lost me as a customer. But actually,
Mm.
this week been interesting. I don't know why, because we've been working on that kind of planning that weekly podcast.
Uh-huh.
But everywhere I go, like for example, I haven't heard so many times, but I think maybe it's in my mind. I went to like a very well-known brand. They are selling clothes. I went to that fitting room, and the lady said to me, "Have a great experience." When I was taking
Oh,
obviously clothes with me, and I was like, and I asked her, "Why are you saying have a great experience? Like, is it something you say now?" I said, "Yeah, we're trying to focus more on experiences." It was really good.
and there we go. What we've been talking about since August
I
driving
know.
a better brand experience for your buyers and your prospects. I think that's incredible. And experience really does make all the difference, right? When we talk about brand today, people used to buy from logos, and brand used to be the experience that the brand made, right? Like the company made for the customers, but now it's reverse. Brand is all about what the customers make of that company. And when you're encouraging a positive experience by making their life easier, adding something a little extra or special, then the conversations start in a positive direction, which leads towards long-term revenue growth. And I think that's incredible that that retail brand that you went and you met literally said that out loud, and it makes you think differently, right? It like sits in your subconscious.
Totally. And I was literally like, moving to the fitting room, and I was like, whoa, let me ask quickly. It was really good. And really good to mention, like, I agree totally. Previously, that it was really brand driven. So, like, for example, if you think you're buying very well known brand like Apple, you think,
Mhm.
okay, this is the best I can have now, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the best experience. So
Yes.
I see more and more now where these maybe companies less well known, they're not so well known, but they're really good what they offer. And seriously, the experience itself it's great, and very quickly like your mindset starts to shift, saying, okay, I feel more unique, I'm not I don't have to go and queue in at Apple store for hours and to have that experience, obviously touch the things and stuff. So it has changed a lot nowadays, and I'm
It
the
has.
same. I'm kind of really shifting. I'm not loyal to any brands anymore unless they really make me look beautiful, or it really works and makes my hair smell good. But otherwise, my needs are changing constantly.
And that's the thing, though, that I think that most people don't realize, right? If we're talking just North America, United States in general, right? Because this is our main market that we work within. The majority of the businesses that make up businesses that are driving revenue or sales, the majority of them are small businesses, right? They're
Yeah.
the ones that your family depends on what happens with this business month to month. While the majority of us think of big brands like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Apple, Microsoft, Lululemon, right? Like the bigger brands that our brains automatically go to, even though they drive the majority of revenue, they're actually the minority when it comes to the makeup of the number of businesses that are here. And when we think about that, it kind of, as a small business owner, creates this need to have to provide a more special experience, a more special offering, something that genuinely is going to impact your buyers and your prospects and make it more personal. Because if you think about it, right, every service or product is a commodity at the end of it, and people
Yes.
choose the brands that make them feel better about whatever it is that they're focused on. And I mean, last week we talked to Valerie Trompunski from Chatterboss. She's the CEO, and we talked to her about buyer experience, and we really focused on how to make your buyers feel more special by making their lives easier and being a step ahead of them, right? Like Chatterboss provides SOPs for their own clients so that their
Yeah.
clients don't have to think about things for their own business, and they're automatically, right? Like, you should do this. I'm going to tell you how to work with our brand. Here's the step-by-step process. Here's what you do next. Here's how you utilize us. Here's how you take advantage of us. And what makes them really special isn't that they're just another VA organization. It's that they're a step ahead, thinking on behalf of the clients that work with them. And the rest of us small businesses have a lot to learn from that. And the way that they got there was by providing a really stellar prospect experience and a good marketing strategy, which is what we're going to focus on today.
Yeah, and I think very often is we thinking so product, like a focus around the product, rather
Yeah.
than really thinking, okay, as a client, and what is really what's bothering them, what is solution they need, and even if it's not my product, what can solve it, maybe I can be some way, help them out, and they might come back to my product, to me again eventually, and maybe become client or purchase my product, but really understanding the problem, not so much what they offer, but what is the client's problem, pain point, and then really finding
Yes.
solutions. And it's a great way. Yeah, I think Valerie's and her company is 2 steps ahead, like you said, because I think the way obviously this business is thinking, because they are obviously offering services for the business people and companies, and the ones they can't think, they are like thinking bigger picture, but there are so many other steps, and that's why it's great, like it's not just saying, okay, let me hire an assistant, but yeah, I will help you, but how I'm going to help you, I'm going to explain you exactly, so you don't have to worry about it. So, and it's so true, because I am in the same situation sometimes, like I'm thinking, oh my God, I need somebody to help me to get that decision making thing, because it's too much choice, too many things going on. I don't understand what's going on. But if somebody like Valerie's company comes to me and saying, I solve everything, and I even tell you how to use my product, it's great.
It makes it really special. And going back to that, like, I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen memes all over talking about, like, stop talking about the product. No one cares about the product. They care about the value that they're going to get by working with your brand, right? Not by purchasing the product, but by working with your brand. How are you going to enhance their life? How will you help them envision how their lives are going to be better by the solution, right? It's not a product, it's not a service, it should be a solution. And when we shift our mindset to think about, what solutions am I providing? How am I going to be a solutions oriented service provider? Or, how am I going to provide a solutions oriented product system? And this is something that I really value and believe in, is not just talking about product, but talking about a system with that, or with your service. It is a system. It should not just be, right, with the majority of our audience we're speaking to, it should not just be a purchase my product and go, good luck. It should be, this is how my product fits into the exact area that you're having an issue with now. But here's some advice on how to utilize it and shift the way that you're currently doing things, and a system that you can follow in order to receive greater growth, greater experiences, greater feedback, greater community. And that provides other opportunities for growth later on. And when you can do that, that's what makes you really special and what keeps people coming back and creates evangelism.
Yeah, I think it's like example. I don't know where I saw it, but when you have obviously remember, we have this lead and they turned into prospect, and it's becoming really not anymore one-way conversation, but two-way. And when you bring it to the real life, it's like you meet a friend or somebody new,
Yeah.
and you want to really see. Obviously, they were before like just a person you knew, but you want to get to know them better. You invite them to your home, maybe for the dinner, because they're still prospect. Are they going to be your full-time friend? We don't know yet, but it's just changing like around it, because you're going to you're finding out more about them and seeing, what's going on in their life. Is it something, aligned with, common things? And then you kind of nurturing that relationship and see if it could be full-time. Like when we're saying it going down to that, like obviously if they become a client or so, but the same thing, because not every person we meet becomes a friend. It's just going to be, somebody we know and acquaintance and so on. But I think it's the same thing with the prospects, first, see if they're in that friend category, like how they're going to be. Is it something, is it just some temporary or something more long-term,
And even so, even if you are not necessarily making friends with everyone that you meet, because you just can't, right?
Exactly.
The old saying of, it's not what you did for people or what people got from you, but how you made them feel. That creates lasting memories and expands opportunities, because just because someone's not ready to purchase from you or work with you now, which most people won't be ready to, right? If we think about the funnel and targeting and the market that is actually ready for our solution, 10% is ready for our solution. They were just waiting for us to provide it.
Yeah.
10% just doesn't care. They're going to do what they want all the time. There's no convincing them. You're never going to, be able to help them because they're stubborn or whatever reasons. But the 80% of the market is the one that you're going to talk to most of the time. That's the market that they're either not ready to purchase yet, right? So they're not going to take the leap because they're not confident in your solution, or they're not confident in what they need for themselves, or they know, okay, this is something I might need in the future, but I want to learn about it now. Or they might not even know that they need it yet because they're not there yet. But when they do get to that point, because of the education, the relationship building, the additional value that you've provided in creating relationships and helping them along the way, they're going to remember you. So when they're ready to purchase, they're going to say, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm in that top 10% at this point in time. And I think that that's really special. If you go about prospecting, being a solutions provider, whether they need you now or not, but making them feel like you do care about their best interests, and that you do know what you're talking about, and you really are trying to help them. That's what sticks in everyone's minds, whether you're a big brand, right? And they're going through a normal, self-discovery on digital, or you're providing a one-to-one like B2B service or a B2C service where you actually have to interact with them.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, this buyer journey in a real life, we would love to have, obviously, there's 3 stages: awareness, consideration, and obviously decision made.
Yeah.
But in real life, it doesn't work like that. Like you said, you have to, it's so much, because first of all, it's we are confused as a buyers, and I am so can relate to it. I kind of have awareness. I need a solution, but then when it comes to consider stage, I'm reading so many different things.
Yes,
I am so confused. You know what's going to happen? As obviously marketeer or the company, I expect the client to go to that purchase decision or making decision. Now I'm going back to basics. I'm not going to even make any decisions. So this is a time not to, like, obviously remember, you did the hard work, that new lead, new friend gave you the contact details. So don't just close the door behind them with just saying, okay, you're not buying today or you're not
Yes.
becoming my customer. That's it. That's over. Just have a chat with them. I understand it's not maybe right time now, but when can I obviously contact you again? And if there's anything else I can do. So it's just, this is still a stage where you have to nurture, even if it takes 6 months, 1 year, you will be, in their mind. You just have to be creating stories around that and making sure that the problem they had beginning, you actually there all the way through. So they start to see more, your brand popping up, the messages, either it's LinkedIn, anywhere else. And then when there's time, I'm sure everything happens, like I say, in the right timing.
Right. Or, you provide such a good experience that, okay, maybe they realize I'm never going to be able to use your solution, but you were
Yes.
so great to me that I actually know someone that needs this now. Or in the future, someone's having a conversation with them and they immediately think, oh, I'm going to go to Ashley. I'm going to go to Lagla. I'm going to refer you to them because they were so great to me and they provided a lot of value just to educate me and make me realize what I needed, even though it wasn't them. And you should go talk to them. And getting back to your point, right? Make business simple. I cannot tell you how many times I've had this conversation in the last several weeks of, get back to simplicity, get back to basics. The reason why, if I think about my career in sales or my career in recruitment, right, which is sales, if we're being honest, anytime that I have done really, really well and had a high level outcome, it's because I was focused on the basic needs of my prospects or of my candidates, of right, making it simple. What is your process? How am I going to help you? And here's the elementary level definition of what I'm doing with you. And that's it, right? I'm also confused as a buyer. Oh my gosh, I hate making decisions. I cannot stand it. I am the person where I'm like, okay, do I want to wear black or white today? And I don't want to think about anything else because I don't know how I'm going to feel and what am I going to think about and who am I going to meet? And right, it's just too much. And I want to be told, okay, you make this decision if you want this, you make this decision if you want that, and it's done. And then I can move on with my life.
I know, and it's actually a valid point. I posted this week as well. How we overcomplicate things, and especially when it comes to businesses, brands, and it was very much also information that provide that. If it's not simple enough, I don't, within the first 3 seconds, so up to, I give you 5 seconds, I don't understand what's going on, what you do. I'm off,
Yes.
I'm done. You probably lost me already. So I think it's
Yes.
very important to go back to basics. With all these strategies now happening, we have so many different omnichannels going on, and we lose
Yes.
kind of like this basic thing that as a we can only make decisions a certain way, and the message needs to be super clear and just keep it simple. Keep it simple for yourself, because if it's simple for you and you understand what you're offering, then it's also easier for your prospect to actually take action and understand,
And the best way, in my opinion, to keep it simple is to have a plan in place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't fly by the seat of your pants. And there's advice that we see on platforms like LinkedIn, for example, that say oh, just start doing it. Yes, that provides some short-term opportunity, but then it really shows later on down the road that you are not prepared, that you are not the solutions provider or the long-term provider through the product of enhancing my life and making it easier, because what's next? Right? Where do I go from here? And the best way to receive simplicity is you have to have a business strategy. You have to have a brand strategy. You need to have a marketing and go to market strategy. And this is what's going to provide the best prospect experience possible, and keep it simple. Because if you are a small business owner, which the majority of our audience is, whether you're providing a B2B service or you're providing a direct to consumer B2C product, most of our audience is like solopreneurs, You
Yeah.
tap out at what you're able to do. So if you're thinking ahead to how am I going to be able to grow faster and grow better on my own as an individual solutions provider, it does go back to simplicity of, okay, what can I automate? What can I
Yes.
create simple workflows for? How can I make my life easier? So I'm making my prospects' lives easier and we can communicate and like everything goes by super fast because it's upfront.
Yes. No, absolutely. And I think one thing I noticed, okay, I've been a little bit browsing around, obviously social media, TikTok pops up some things, I'm interested potentially to buy.
Uh-huh.
And what I noticed, for me, straight away, I look, okay, the product, I read the comments, I go and read the reviews. And then I'm a little bit like, because it's just not impulse going to be buy. It's not expensive product,
Yeah.
but it's also not going to be my impulse buy because I already actually have the same similar product at home, but I want obviously newer and something nicer.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped. What happened next? I expected it from them, straight away, obviously. They captured my data. They can see I've been going there a few times. I'm interested. But instead of that, they still don't get it. They started now to bombard me really heavily with stuff, and not really understanding
Cringe.
that what's actually stopping me to moving forward. So they straight away started to offer discounts, XYZ, but I'm still not making a decision at the moment. So, and I probably will buy eventually, but they haven't got to the point where they can actually convert me, emotionally connect to me. And they're great and everything what they do. But I felt it suddenly happened too much bombarding. So I was like, okay, I'm not even going to open these emails for a while. So until I'm getting ready.
I'm really glad that you brought up the money aspect, right? When we're talking about sales or prospecting, there is the excuse of it costs too much, or sometimes it costs too little.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that you're as good as you say you are because your price is very low. So are you lying to me, right? There's both ends of the spectrum. But when we're talking about price, it's always an excuse. It is always a huge sign that they do not find value in your solution because you have not hit their pain point. You're not solving an immediate problem for them or making their life easier down the road. It is most of the time, probably 80, we'll go back to the 10-10-80 rule, right? 80% of the time, it is not about the cost.
No.
It's about the relationship. It's about the value behind it. Someone will easily justify paying $5,000 for something that they could go and pay $3,000 for somewhere else if they feel connected to the brand and the solution and the value.
Yes, absolutely. And exactly, it's my case. And I think what I was expecting from them really, as you've been bombarding me with emails, I probably can see I'm not even opening them.
Yeah.
So now it's time to invest into that person who actually reaching out to me like over email saying, we noticed obviously, is it something else, So really kind of make it very personal and find out why I haven't made decision. And I will tell them straight away, this wasn't about the price. Price is very good. What you're offering, product is very good, but there is still something stopping me. So I'm like, why don't you find out what's stopping me? Because if they hit that nail, they gonna be great. They gonna convert more stuff and bring me overboard. But at the moment, I'm like, okay, I'm just seeing how long they're gonna keep doing it, sending me just offers only. And it's not about the money.
And there's a huge disconnect, which means that internally they're driven on numbers, not relationship.
But it comes down to, I guess, the value of the product because like I personally work with the clients who have more high value product, exclusive, and it's not just instant purchase. It's not like I want to buy a chocolate and I'm going to go and get chocolate, the next door near the tube or anywhere else. But it's more like if it comes down to certain things, you need to understand. I always try to think, okay, they haven't, let's say I can see that client is opening my emails. Okay. They actually have interest. They invested into that. They bother opening my emails. But now it's still something there. And I always try to think different approaches saying, okay, what could be the issue there, and not even touching the money point, and really like approaching them as a friend, but in a
Yes.
professional manner. And I noticed that actually really helps to get a reply from them. So even if they don't want to answer a phone call, then they really at least send me a reply. And this is good. If they bothered to reply to me, I'm very happy already. We are starting to communicate. We are getting somewhere.
And they're
So, and
listening.
then,
Yeah.
yes. And then the next stage is obviously not to bombard. Okay, this is now what you need, my product. Okay. So I understand now what's actually stopping them to move forward from here. And either I have to go and find another solution for them, or really tell them, obviously, I understand completely. I really wish it goes, oh, well, like a business, we could help you, but there are other alternatives as well. So you have to be willing and open to let them go as well.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree with that, right? And we're talking about, okay, this is the reason why they don't purchase, because they're not finding the value through the experience that you are or are not giving to them. And thinking about, right, your marketing strategy, how are you communicating with them? How are you building that relationship? What pain points are you solving? Are you meeting them where they're at? Are you preparing to meet them where they're at? Have you identified the persona that is going to be best for your solution? And are you talking to them? Because if you
Yeah.
are seeing, right, I think that a lot of the times, if you continue to see, okay, people are not purchasing my product because they either get to a certain stage in the prospect journey, or they have X excuses. We have to go back and think, okay, am I speaking to the right people? Not only am I communicating correctly and I'm making it simple for them to understand, but going back to my marketing strategy and my brand strategy, am I communicating to the right people in the first place? If you
Yeah.
sell to everyone, you sell to no one, right? It's like that
Exactly.
whole like jack of all trades, but master of none is better than a master of one or something, right?
Yeah.
It's that same thing. If you're talking to everyone, you can't truly provide the value that you say that you want to.
Yeah, and maybe the problem I think it's changed now, but I still believe in the companies, obviously, they hand the prospect over to a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Salespersons are very much focused on closing that deal. So
Mm-hmm.
they are very harsh. They obviously to the point. They're very good what they're doing, but they don't understand that. Like I explained, that my problem is not the sales, not the money. It's actually something else, more emotional, the
Mm-hmm.
feeling. So
Always.
this is maybe they have to bring in the person who's like, usually they hand over to customer care later, maybe this is a time where customer care steps in and they are qualified to look after these obviously feelings, emotions, and
Mm-hmm.
understand what's going on with this prospect, why they are not just feeling obviously enough love by us, why we are not good enough for them yet, so just really nourishing that relationship, going from that really hard cold like a transactional point, but really soft and caring. So
Yes.
I think that's something is changing, but it's still like it has still obviously work to do, because for example, I really loved it in December. For my own personal example was I it's a gym. I wanted to join them and I wanted to try out. They had like 1 week free trial. But then what happened? My back got really bad. So
Ugh.
I obviously, they sent me really nice messages, everything. And I was like, I can't come yet. I can't come yet. I can't come yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually pick up phone calls if I don't know the number.
Yeah.
So they sent me messages and I could kind of relate to the number eventually, and then said, can we call you? Because we just want to find out how you're doing and everything else. She was
Wow.
super cool, said she was really good. She wasn't like, I'm sure she was a salesperson, but she was so soft and understood my pain points, because I said to her, listen, I'm not ready because my back yet,
Yeah.
but I really want to come. And she said, okay, listen, when you're ready, can I call you back just to check in? She checked in with me every week just to make sure I feel better. And said, listen, I know you maybe can't do like a full month or something, but come for a trial at least for a week or so. Do you know what happened? I actually my back was kind of okayish. I ended up actually saying, okay, I'm going to come this afternoon. She said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me figure out everything else. What happened? I signed up for a month then, So you see, because the way approached me
Yeah.
and they made me feel understood that it wasn't about money. It was just something was going on internally, and I couldn't just see if it's right for me now or not. But they helped me really kind of through that relationship and communication to cross me over the board. So yeah, here you go. Example.
Yes. So today's lesson, right, to provide a great prospect experience so that you can convert into buyers, make it simple, explain the process, connect emotionally, look out for their best interest, and be prepared.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think
And
those are 5 really simple steps.
yeah, and I think prospects, like I love to kind of comparing, just think of them as a new friend. So you don't gonna go and bombard straight away about all your life to them, but actually try to find out what's going on there, what they go through personally, and then obviously start to talk more about what you're up to, and maybe there are some interesting things we could align and connect. So yeah, definitely, it's lots of loved it.
Well, I think today's conversation was really great, and it leads up to something really cool that we're going to be talking about next week. We're going to be meeting with growth marketing firm again.
Yes.
Last year, we met with Will Davidson, who leads sales and business development for growth marketing. They are a HubSpot certified marketing agency and solutions provider. And next week, we're going to be meeting with Will again, but we're also going to be joined by Chris Nault, which is the founder and CEO of Growth. And, this is a new age as far as prospecting is concerned, and it is becoming a little bit more of emotional connection. What exact problems am I solving? How am I connecting with stakeholders within the organization? And that's where things like, we've heard of inbound, especially through HubSpot, which HubSpot is like my absolute favorite tool ever. And we've heard of inbound, right? Providing value and education to help your buyers feel more confident and go through the buyer's journey and process on their own with confidence in order to select you as their solutions provider and create a relationship along the way. But we're going to be talking to them about ABM, account-based marketing, which should be used with methods like inbound and other, marketing strategies. But ABM is like the ultimate targeting opportunity for your organization if you're targeting clients that are a little bit larger, right?
Yes.
And we've talked to them in the past, and I know through my experience with interviews in the past or prospecting conversations in the past, most organizations don't really know what ABM is. They just think it's this cool term where they're like, oh, we got to have it because it's targeted. But there's so much more that goes into it, right? Really understanding your own ICP, your own strategies, the experience that you provide on your own, what capabilities you have, the tools, the spend, the budget, all of that there's so much more to it. So I'm excited to have them on, not only to educate and explain, okay, this is the ideal type of organization that should use ABM. And these are the ideal types of prospects you should be targeting and the ideal budget that you should keep in mind if you're looking to utilize ABM as a tool. But we're also going to be talking about trends that we're going to really start seeing in the market in 2023. I know the last couple of years ABM's become big, but I think something really big is going to happen with it this year with the way that the climate is changing within business.
Yeah, I just saw actually one of the American Marketing Association. They had a conference just now this week, and ABM was one of their key kind of notes as well there. So I haven't had time to listen back, but I'm going to do it before our chat next week. So I know what's going on in trend-wise there. But yeah, definitely. And I think it's going to be good if you don't know much about ABM or are you thinking, is it right for my business? Obviously, join in. They will be the best people to tell what they do and if it's right for you or not, or maybe it's not right for you at the moment, but later in when your business grows.
Yep, going back to inbound education.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it was so good to catch up with you this week. I loved this conversation. I'm so excited for next Friday, which is February 3rd. We're going to meet back at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on LinkedIn Live. Now, right, we have our YouTube channel up. So if you're not already following our YouTube channel, it is at Brand Experience Live. Please subscribe. You can see our past 17 conversations, and typically within 24 hours or so, we post that day's conversation as well, so you can watch the like live like replay basically.
We're learning, we're growing, we're experiencing new things.
We are. All right, well, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, have a good one.